Next is Jared Aviat. He's back. Did we suspend him the proper amount of weeks?
He's returned this week. He's off suspension.
Okay. Subject is Seth Rollins talks about Bray Wyatt. There's a clip attached. Hi, K100 fam. I hope everyone's doing well. Just want to get your thoughts on Seth Rollins' comments on Bray Wyatt in an interview from a couple months ago with Ariel Helwani. I found Seth's comments very interesting. I've not really heard anyone in the business say that they were not the same coming out of a feud with Wyatt as opposed to entering a feud with Wyatt. Does the K100 crew think that Bray, either in his previous incarnation or his current persona, is a difficult character to book and present as part of a wrestling show? I've often thought he would do better as an actor than a wrestler. Also, can the crew understand Seth's frustrations with working with the character, as he stated in the audio clip? The clip is attached, and don't worry, Disco, it is not that long of a clip at all. Curious as to your thoughts. Thank you. All the best, Jared.
A lot of old faces are coming back, right? And I was wondering if you'd be down with this idea. I always felt like maybe one that if you could do over in your incredible Hall of Fame career is the Bray Wyatt feud. And I wonder if Bray comes back, if that's one that you would like to have a mulligan on.
Yeah, I mean, another crack at that one might be nice. I mean, look, the Bray Wyatt character was just difficult. I mean, if you look at anybody that worked with the Bray Wyatt character for an extended period of time, they didn't come out of it better than they went in. It was very difficult to have a story with him where, aside from Randy, obviously, who killed him, you know, it was difficult for anyone. I think maybe Daniel Bryan might have escaped a little unscathed, but I mean, everyone else pretty much met a dire end for their character. I mean, that was the end for the Seth Rollins character as you knew it, the Beast Slayer character, you know. And so it was tough figuring out how to tell a good wrestling story with that character. Okay. And so it just, you know, I just wasn't good at it. That was one thing I was not good at, the kind of the phenomenology stuff. Like I wasn't able to interweave that with reality enough to make what I felt was a captivating story. At the end of the day, it probably would have been better if he just mauled me in that cell and put the claw on me and called it a day. You know, I could have moved on to something else and he could have had his run as champion.
There you go.
That's it. He's right. It is a difficult character to do like an angle with, because like you're in these weird angles with him, and it's like you're like you're almost forgetting you're actually trying to build this up to have a match. You know, like you're doing all the cinematic stuff and everything, and it's like, you know, I mean, he's kind of right, you know. But John Cena had a match that supposedly had, like, occurred in the guy's mind, you know, in the Firefly Funhouse. So it's like, you know, it is weird. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with everything Seth said, and it's very hard to do a match with Bray, a wrestling match more than anything. I think you can tell a good story, but the wrestling matches are usually substandard. Yeah,
because they tried to turn his character into like a no-seller, you know? Right, but he doesn't really, I don't know. He's right, you know? I mean, he's a phenomenal character, but you got to, you know, they get too out there with some of his stuff sometimes, I think, to where, like he said, like grounding the angle into reality with having a match is like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense sometimes, right? He tried to kill, it's like Brady Orton, okay, you burned me alive. Let's go have a match. It's like, it's kind of ridiculous, right? If you think about it, huh? Like, I'm gonna get my revenge on you in a match.
Yeah, plus it was weird that he was presented as so indestructible and went over on all these guys, including Seth, and then they had Goldberg squash him in Saudi Arabia, basically.
Right.